Hello everyone, myself Swati Jayawant Kokate from Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. Today I am going to teach you history lesson number 10, that is India after independence. Okay, so from the lesson's name itself you will come to know that we are going to know more about India when it got independence. So what were the achievements, what were the failures, or in that context we are going to see here. In the last chapter, the making of movements, what we saw children, that to get independence various nationalists they fought for freedom, isn't it? There were leaders and they fought, and the result what was for about that different states or different countries were formed, isn't it? So after independence India had a series of challenges. So it wanted or it had to face many problems to develop or to see it independent. So what were those challenges, or till what content we have succeeded? Let us see in this lesson today. So India after independence. As I told you, a new and divided nation was formed. How? We have seen that the refugees, means the partition of country was there, India as well as Pakistan, then Bangladesh, like this different countries were formed. So there was partition of the country itself and a new and divided nation was formed. So on 15th August 1947 India got independence, and partition created, see, if there is unity, everyone is living unitedly, there will be a less chance of, you can say, problems. Okay, then as it was divided, so there was a obviously chance of, you can say, number of problems. So 8 million refugees were there who had come from the Pakistan to India, and they needed shelter and livelihood. So see, the number was not at all less, isn't it? And what happened? They had no work, no food, no shelter. So how to resolve this problem? How to solve this problem? There were almost, then see, there were 500 princely states, means you can see that previously before independence there were princes, isn't it? Prince, princess ruling in their states, and each of them had to persuade to join the new independent country. The new nations had to adopt a political system that would be best serving as the hopes and expectations of the people. So there was a challenge that they have to, the expectations of the people should be fulfilled, isn't it? And the problem of these refugees and the princely states addressed immediately. In the longer term, the new nation had to adopt a political system, as I told you, that would serve the expectations of the people. Thousands gathered on the occasion of flag hoisting ceremony at the Red Fort on 15th August 1947. So when the India got independence, for the flag hoisting, thousands of people gathered over there. So what was the constitution there was written? Okay, just before that we will see that what problems were faced by this new government. Okay, the problem was the vast majority of Indians lived in villages. So as we know that Indian agriculture was the main occupation here, and many of the people they lived in rural areas. Farmers and peasants were dependent on the monsoon for their survival. So other improvements or new techniques were not there for agriculture produce. Many of the peasants excuse me, they had to depend on the monsoon for their survival, that is for the crops also. If the obviously if the good yield good production is there, then only there will be profit and they can satisfy their basic needs also. Then people or the other occupations like barber, carpenters, weavers and other service groups which did not have, which were under the sector of non-farming, okay, in rural area, they had to depend on the farmers for that, because if the farmers produce less, they don't have money to pay these people. So automatically these people have to depend on the produce of the field, you can say. In the cities, factory workers lived in crowded slum with little access to education or health care, and this was the scenario of okay, rural area and urban area. How it was that there were crowded cities and the factory workers, they had to live in slum areas where they did not get health as well as education care. Then if the division between the different sections of people were not mitigated, so see what happened, the poor were very poor, isn't it, and the rich people were very rich. So now it was the time to cope up with the difference or this, you can say, difference of this poverty line. It was the time to overcome this, and if it was not settled, what was the result, will be the result, there will be dissatisfaction as well as there will be chance of, you can say, fights between these two communities. So division between rich and poor, between cities and the countryside, etc. Countryside is rural area, okay. Like this, these were the problems faced by the new government. Partition of the nation was divided, then the refugees, 80, you can say, so many millions of people had come from Pakistan to India, and they did not, 8 millions, okay, refugees had come and they did not have job, shelter, etc. Moreover, these were the problems. Then the constitution, then after this, okay, these were the problems. Here you can see that a constitution was written, okay, between December 1946 and November 1949. Some 3 countries, 300 Indians had a series of meetings. So during between 1946 to November 1949, this is near about 3 years, some 300 Indians had a series of meetings, means meetings after meetings, continuous meetings on the country's political future. So they were deciding in the meetings that what should be the country's political future, how it should be, what things should be included. The meetings of this Constituent Assembly were held in New Delhi, but the participants came from all over India, okay. It's okay that it was taken or it was held in New Delhi, but the participants were included from all over the India and from different political parties also. These discussions resulted in framing of Indian Constitution, which was adopted on 26th January 1950. So these things were done, but when it was adopted, all these things, they were adopted from 26th January 1950. One feature of the Constitution, like now, what were the important features of the Constitution? The important features were, first one, just if you have a pencil, note down children, because if you write in points, you will understand the things. What were the features of the constitutions of the Indian constitutions? So first one was, note down, universal adult franchise. Yes, you have learnt in 7th standard also. Just recall it. What does it mean? The Indian Constitution adopted universal adult franchise means all Indians above the age of 21 would be allowed to vote in the state's national elections. Soon after independence, India chose to grant the voting right to all the citizens in spite or regardless of their gender, class and education. So, this is universal adult franchise, means what, all the Indians, those who are above the age of 21, they will be having the voting right in the state as well as national elections, and whoever it may be, they will be having the right to if they are citizens of India, they should they will not be discriminated against gender, class or education. Everyone will be having the right to vote. Then the next comes equality. First one was universal adult franchise, then come to equality. So, before that, how was this scenario? Everyone was not treated equally before independence. The poor were poor, or they did not have their self dignity, you can say. So, here equality was focused on, and you can say that the Indian Constitution, here this is a picture of Constitution where Jawaharlal Nehru introducing the resolution that outlined the objectives of the constitutions. So, here you can see Jawaharlal Nehru, he is giving or just introducing what does the resolution consists. Okay, then this first point he had told about universal adult franchise. Then the second one is equality. The Indian Constitution guaranteed equality before the law to all the citizens, means regardless their caste, religion, gender, etc. Sometimes some Indians wish that India must be a Hindu state. Indian Prime Minister Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru wanted to build a secular state. The Indian Constitution gave the same right and the same opportunities to all. So, like this, everyone, whether that person is of any caste, religion or creed, whatever it is, he will be treated equally. Then third one, come to the third point. Third one is special privileges. So, what comes under special privileges? See, Indian Constitution, it offered special privileges for the poor and most disadvantaged Indians. So, who are these poor? Like, see, they want to bring some equality among the society, and the practice of, like, there was a practice of untouchability, and also a certain percentage of seats were means they were reserved for these members. What is this special? Why this special treatment was there? First, you have seen equality, everyone will be treated equally, but again the second contrary point comes, special privileges. Then why this special treatment is required for special people or different people? Because there was no, you can say, same regards, or you can say that the same things were not there, equality was not there economically as well as socially. So, like this, special privileges were there, like poor and most disadvantaged Indians were given some privileges. The practice of untouchability was abolished, means before that their practice of untouchability was there, means some castes or some religions were treated as untouchable. They were not allowed to take water from that well, they were not allowed to touch the things of others, okay, like this. And the certain percentage of seats in legislature as well as jobs in government were reserved for the members at the lowest caste. So, like this, some reservations were kept or reserved for the members of this lower caste. H.J. Khandekar, one of the member of Constituent Assembly, said that it was the upper caste who were responsible for the Dalits or Harijans being unfit today. So why these people, whether God has sent them like this to be? No. Or you can say whether from birth they are like this, that they are not capable or they don't have all the equal rights. So here H.J. Khandekar, he says that one of the member of assembly, constituent assembly, that the upper caste, these people have treated them like this. They are responsible for the Dalits or Harijans being unfit today. So along with untouchables, the Adivasis and scheduled tribes were also granted reservation in seats and jobs. The tribal have been deprived of modern health care and education. Their land and forest had been taken away from them. So as we have seen that the untouchability was also abolished. Also this was, some rights were given, some seats were reserved for untouchables, Adivasis, also scheduled tribes. So these people, they scheduled tribes means they don't have a proper, you can say, shelter. They are not, they have to depend on for their food and shelter. They have to get transferred from one place to another. So they have a business or they have a work of that type, you can say. Then Adivasis, in the marginalization you have seen that these people live in the forest areas. Whatever they get there, they are interested to live there, but they don't get proper education, medical facilities, all these they don't get there. So these people were given different reservations, seats for jobs. So the tribal had been deprived of modern health care, so they should get health care, land, forest, because the forest, you can see that the forest was taken away from them, or where they lived it was taken under construction, you may say, or for agriculture purpose the land was taken away from them and they were forced to go to the cities or towns and they had to live there, and that too in a very congested area. So discussion in constituency was, assembly was, that the powers of the central government versus those of the state government. Some thought that centre's interest should be foremost, others thought that the provinces should have greater autonomy and freedom. So what was here? Now just see, along that this discussion, why again there was a controversy, like which state government or the central, which should have more importance, or the constituent assembly spent many days discussing the powers, what powers the central government should have, like this, and versus those the state government should have. Some members thought the center's interest should be foremost. Only a strong center, it was argued, would be in the position to think that the plan was well-being too of the country as a whole, and other members felt that the provinces should be greater autonomy and freedom should be there. So the member from Mysore feared that under the present system democracy is centered in Delhi and it is not allowed to work in the same sense and spirit in the rest of the country. So like this, it was the means, there was again this one point was there for discussion, that we should be given the priority or the importance. A member from Madras insisted that the initial responsibility of well-being of a people of provinces should rest with the provincial government. So this was the speakings, or this was told over here. We are going to see, okay, that the constitution sought to be balanced these competing claims by providing 3 lists of subjects. So how what the constitution resolved these problems? You can see here that there were power sharing, what you are going to study in details in the next year in your higher classes, that the constitution sought a balance of these competing claims. So there was competition in claims that we are this government or this central government should get more rights or state governments. So there were listed in three parts, that is a union list, state list and a concurrent list. So in order to maintain the balance between the central government and the state government, the institution provided these three lists, that is union list, note down, the state list and the concurrent list. You have to write down the responsibilities or what power sharing. Like see, one example I will give you. If there is a class monitor, okay, and if teacher tells to check or collect the books from each and every student, so what will happen? Within that 5 to 10 minutes, the student cannot, the monitor cannot collect all the books. So teacher, what she will do? She will bifurcate that work, okay. She will divide it like one row, second monitor, third monitor, like this. Row monitors she can do. Like this power sharing. So some powers of that matter will be with this government, with state government, then with concurrent list. Like this, it was the bifurcation of this work, you can say it. Why? To maintain a balance between this central government and this state government. So what comes under union list? With subjects, it has the subjects like taxes, defense, foreign affairs, and which would be exclusive responsibility of center. So it comes for central government. Then what was with state list? It was the subject like educations, health, which would be taken care of mainly by the state government. Then what is concurrent list? With subjects like forest, agriculture, in which the center and state should have joint responsibility. So like this, there was discussion in the Constitution Assembly for power sharing, we can say. So like this, the powers, the rights or the power, what this state and central government was, they had been shared like this. Then comes issue of language. Then another you can say written feature was issue of language. Another important topic discussed in the Constituent Assembly was language. Some members of the Constituent Assembly wanted to replace English language with Hindi. So see here, the Britishers, we got independence. Before that, no English language was introduced or no one was knowing this language. So what these people, some people wanted, they thought that the Britishers have gone and with them the English language should also be sent, and no one should speak this language. So and instead Hindi language should be introduced. But the non-Hindi speakers, all people were not knowing Hindi, but the non-Hindi speakers had different opinion. So like this, different opinions were there. They even threatened to separate from India if Hindi was imposed on them. So like this means different opinions were there, that some wanted to stop the spoken English, like this language should not be there continued in India. Some wanted that Hindi should be known to each and everyone, but those who are not knowing Hindi, they were opposing this. A compromise was settled. Hindi would be the official language of India. So see, to have a communication, why this was given? To have a communication, proper communication of India with other countries also, English should be used in the courts, services and communications between one state and another. So when we have to deal with or go have a communication with other country, it is necessary to see that we know that language. So this was seen that how this compromise was settled. Hindi was the official language of India and English was the language which was used in courts, services and communications between one state and the another. Then See here, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of the drafting committee, and under his supervision framing of Indian constitution was finalized. See in this picture, in this photograph, you can see that during 1891 to 1956, respectfully referred to as Baba Saheb, belonged to a Marathi speaking Dalit family. He was a lawyer and economist. He is best known as a revered leader of the Dalits and the father of the Indian constitutions. So here he has written the Constitution of India, and it was finalized under his supervision. He was the chairman of the drafting committee. So all these things. Another major debate in the constitutions was concerned regarding language. So as I told you, many of them had thought that English should be left or removed from India. So and Hindi should be taken as the main language. However, those who were not knowing Hindi, they were opposing that. Assembly TT Krishnachari conveyed a warning on behalf of people of South. So some of whom threatened a separate from India if Hindi was imposed on them. So like this, some issues were there for the things, and how it was settled. It was settled as English should be used in courts, services and communication between states and another, and Hindi will be official language of India. We have seen the all things here. Then we are going to see how were states to be formed, how was the formation of states. Okay, these different countries were there, but it was demand from the society or from the people that different states should be formed, because the issues were growing on, like people, linguistic problems were there. The people knowing these languages, their sentiments were attached to their language itself. So how these states were formed. Back in 1920s, the Indian National Congress has promised that after independence, each major linguistic group of our country would have its own province. After independence, the scenario was changed. Both Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Deputy Prime Minister Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel were against this creation of linguistic caste. So why this was there? First they had told, but afterwards when they came to know that these things were that there were so many disputes for languages, they wanted a united nation, isn't it? But on the dependence of this language, there were different things. So however, after independence, the Congress did not take any steps to honor this promise. So it promised, but they were knowing the disadvantages of this, so they did not take any actions. But for India had been divided on the basis of religion, despite the wishes of efforts of Mahatma Gandhi. Freedom had come not to nation but to two. So as a result, partition of India, more than 1 million people were killed in riots in Hindu and Muslims. And could the country afford further division on the basis of language? So the first thing was, the strongest protest was there, that Telugu speaking districts of Madras Presidency and all. So like this, there was independence, okay, but these challenges were faced again here. So there were again disputes for the linguistic problems were there. So all these things again we will see in details in the next children. Thank you all.